Chapter 1 Qitian. You are listening at Audio. P.S. IQ-100, happiness plus 10086. In the evening, in the mountains behind Xinghun village, the thin Tian stood up, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and murmured to himself, I have been in Douluo Continent for 3 years. I don't know what kind of martial spirit I will awaken tomorrow. That's right, Tian is a stowaway from Blue Star. 3 years ago, he was a well-known boxing champion on Blue Star. The old saying goes, young people who succeed are prone to failure. This sentence soon came true. In a boxing match in America, Tian defeated a national player with 1 punch. Because of his overly arrogant boxing style, on the way back to the hotel, he was given a local treat by the fans of that player. Coming to Douluo Continent, Qitian unfortunately traveled through the body of a 3-year-old child. The original person followed his parents and fled to Notting City in order to avoid the war between Xingluo and the Tiando Empire. In this fantasy world of cannibalism, there are not many kind-hearted people, and the original person eventually starved to death in the city. When Qitian traveled through time, he was lucky enough to be brought back to Holy Soul Village by Old Jack, who went to the city to sell vegetables. Old Jack is not rich. Although he is the village chief, his life is no better than that of ordinary villagers, but Old Jack, even if he didn't have enough to eat, would leave the food to Qitian. What he said most was, Tian, it's time for you to grow up. Only when you have enough food can you become a respectable soul master. Qitian was not from the village, and Old Jack understood that the martial spirit he awakened could not be the useless martial spirit inherited by the families in the village. After all, Qitian was not a real child. After getting a long day and night, he saw the expectation in Old Jack's eyes. Back home, Old Jack served delicious meals. Seeing Qitian entering the door, he quickly greeted him, Tian, because of your hard work, when you awaken your martial soul tomorrow, you will definitely become a soul master. Qitian smiled bitterly and did not answer. He doesn't even know who his parents are, so how can he know what kind of martial spirit he will awaken? It has been 3 years since he came to Douluo Continent, and he has not even shown up the golden finger that is necessary for time travelers. It is true that soul masters are respected in Douluo Continent, but the prerequisite for strength is talent. Even if a person with innate first-level soul power practices for 48 hours a day, it will not be as much as a soul master with full innate soul power can accumulate after practicing for half an hour. When Old Jack saw this, he realized that he should not put pressure on a 6-year-old child. He quickly changed the subject. Tian, you will exercise in the afternoon, Xiao San will exercise early in the morning, and the back mountain will be occupied by you two all morning and night. Completely occupied. Maybe 2 soul masters will appear in our village. Xiao San, of course, refers to Tang San. In his previous life, Qitian had only briefly read the novel Douluo Dalu. He maintained an objective attitude towards Tang San and did not make too many comments. After coming to Douluo Continent, he and Tang San were the only 2 people in the village who didn't get along. The relationship between the 2 of them could not be said to be very good. At most they were just acquaintances. However, Qitian knew what happened to Tang San very well. Grandpa, don't worry. Children with soul power will definitely appear in the village this year. By then, you won't have to nag all day long. Perhaps, our village may become a Contra village or a titled Douluo village. Old Jack touched Qitian's forehead with a doting look on his face. He bent down and said softly, Good boy, Grandpa hopes that the person you're talking about is yourself. The next morning, while Qitian was still sleeping, he was dragged out of bed by Old Jack. Old Jack stood in front of the bed and said with an anxious look on his face, Tian, you can sleep in normally. Today is the day when the martial spirit awakens. The deacon will not wait for you. If you miss it, you can only wait until next year. No way, Qitian didn't even bring Lan Xingfu with him, so he brought with him the habit of sleeping in and working out. If not, why did he give up the mountain behind to Tang San in the morning? Rubbing his eyes, Qitian quickly woke up. Awakening the martial spirit is the most important moment in the lives of the residents of Douluo Continent. Once you've come, make peace with it. Only by awakening your martial soul can you make a worthwhile journey. arriving in front of the most sacred house in the village, the lowest branch of Wuhun Hall. Several children had already gathered here. When these children saw Qitian, without exception, they did not dare to look directly at him. If you don't fit in with others, you will definitely be bullied. However, the boxing and kicking skills that Tian acquired in his previous life were not comparable to those of these children's random punches. Not long after, Su Yuntao's figure appeared, and old Jack said quickly, "The deacon is here. Children, please say hello to the deacon." "Hello, Mr. Deacon." Tian lowered his head reluctantly and secretly complained in his heart, "Brother Tao, can't you act more normally? You're so pretentious." That's right, Su Yuntao's appearance is like a hero in a martial arts drama. In reality, it looks very embarrassing. "Hello, respected spirit master, I'm going to trouble you this time." Old Jack stepped forward with vigorous steps and saluted slightly. Dislike the poor and love the rich is one of the main themes of this world. The flash of disgust in Su Yuntao's eyes was caught by the keen Tian. There is no way, he is a soul master. Old Jack is respected as the God King on the Blue Star Network, but in fact, he is just an ordinary person without soul power. What is the meaning of effort? To put it simply, it is to let the relatives around you, including yourself, and let others take a high look. In his previous life, Tian was a boxer who worked his way up from the bottom. He understood the worldly perspective too well. "Grandpa, if I can become a soul master, I will definitely shut up these guys who hate the poor and love the rich." Tian swore silently in his heart. However, Su Yuntao not only looked down on old Jack, he also looked down on other people in the village. His tone was neither salty nor cool. "I don't have much time, let's start now." After saying that, he turned around, released a trace of soul power from his palm, and slowly pushed the door in front of him open. Old Jack wanted to say something more, but he was interrupted. "Okay, you only said a few words in the past years. If it were really that easy to become a soul master, Wuhun Palace wouldn't give monthly subsidies to soul masters." With that said, he walked into the house, took out a few stones from his arms, and placed them in a formation on the ground. "Children, hurry in and don't keep the deacon waiting," Old Jack urged. Hearing this, the children all ran towards the house, except Tang San and Tian, who were not in a hurry. Tang San couldn't help but glance at Tian, and asked lightly, "What will our martial spirit be? Will we have soul power?" Old Jack took good care of him, and if he could awaken his soul power, it would be a solution to his worries. Tian smiled and said, "I heard from Grandpa that the Bluesilver Grass martial spirit is the most popular on the mainland. Maybe your martial spirit is Bluesilver Grass." Regarding this person who was equally unsociable with him, Tang San couldn't help but ask more. "What about you?" Tian smiled mysteriously and said nothing. It's not that he doesn't want to say it, he really doesn't know. Don't bully the young to be poor, don't bully the middle-aged to be poor, don't bully the old to be poor, the dead are the most important. Whether you reach the peak of your life depends on today. Qitian muttered silently in his heart and followed the team. Just like the scene in his memory, Su Yuntao said some precautions, and then began to awaken the martial arts for everyone. However, the martial spirits of these children have not mutated, they all inherited the martial spirits of their parents. When Tang San arrived, Su Yuntao said to himself, "It seems that we still can't have too high expectations, otherwise we will only be more disappointed." Not surprisingly, Tang San's martial spirit was Bluesilver Grass, and Su Yuntao even wanted to skip the step of testing the spirit power. Lan Yinchao is recognized as a useless martial soul in the mainland. Even if he has soul power, he cannot become a soul master. "Uncle, you haven't tested my soul power yet?" Tang San couldn't help but say. Su Yuntao said, "No, I have to rush to the next village after the remaining children awaken their martial spirits." P.S. It's a new book for a newbie, so please bear with me if there are shortcomings. In the new book stage, it is very important to catch up on reading. Readers who like to read, remember to catch up on time at 12 noon every day. Newbie, new book, please read it and vote for it. Chapter 2. The Fist is my martial spirit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Under Tang San's repeated requests, Su Yuntao couldn't resist and had to let him test his soul power. This time, the crystal ball was no longer dim, but emitted a dazzling blue light. Su Yuntao's eyes widened and he said in disbelief, "Oh my God, this is innate soul power." After many years of working in the industry, this was the first time he saw someone possessing level 10 soul power just after awakening their martial soul. A trace of jealousy flashed in his eyes. If this talent fell on him, why would he be here to awaken the martial soul for children? After a brief shock, he sighed, "My child, you are born with full soul power. Alas, it's a pity that you have a useless martial soul. Although you can become a soul master, you are still at the bottom of the same level." Tang San wanted to ask again, but Su Yuntao stopped answering. After all, there is nothing more exciting than the ups and downs. Whenever Tang San changed his martial spirit, he would receive a valuable reward for his achievements in recruiting geniuses for the spirit hall. Although Tang San didn't know what it meant to have full innate soul power, seeing Su Yuntao's performance, he felt secretly happy. "It's your turn, kid. Go into the circle and don't be afraid." Qitian walked into the formation formed by the awakening stones, and a warm current spread from bottom to top throughout his body. Su Yuntao activated his martial spirit again and injected soul power into the awakening array. This child, like Tang San, has a good character. If he can awaken his soul power, my trip will not be in vain. Looking at Qitian's performance, Su Yuntao thought to himself, the other children, without exception, became timid after seeing his martial spirit. It was a rare thing for him to see a bold person. "Child, stretch out your right hand and use your mind to manifest the martial spirit in your palm." Qitian did the same. A burst of light flashed, and Tian felt the martial spirit emerging from his body. A glint flashed in his eyes, but he quickly restrained it. Then, his fists became harder and harder. When the light dissipated, Su Yuntao couldn't help but exclaimed, "My child, you don't have a martial spirit? How is this possible?" Tian's palms were empty, with no signs of martial soul emerging. The first thing that Su Yuntao thought of was that Qitian had not reached the age of martial soul awakening. Just when he was about to blame old Jack, Tian slowly said, "Uncle, I have a martial spirit, and my fist is my martial spirit." As a boxer, the most important thing is your eyes and your fists. Qitian was secretly grateful to be able to awaken his fists and eyes as martial souls. Having twin martial spirits at least proves that he is not inferior to Tang San in terms of martial spirits. Fist, can this also be used as a martial spirit? Su Yuntao's mouth twitched slightly. He didn't know that it was normal. At this time, the mainland didn't have much idea about the original martial soul. After thinking for a while, Su Yuntao murmured, "That's all, fists are definitely more useful than Bluesilver Grass. Child, use your mind to take back your martial spirit, then put your hand on the crystal ball. Let me see your innate soul power." The fist, as a part of the body, has some offensive power. Su Yuntao thought to himself that he had not recruited talents for Wuhun Palace for several years. If Qitian's innate soul power exceeded level 4, he would definitely introduce him to Wuhun Palace Academy. It can be regarded as adding some achievements to his official career. Qitian took a deep breath. Having twin martial souls but no soul power was of no use. With anxiety, he placed his hand on the crystal ball. Suddenly, a screen of light appeared in his mind. Within the light curtain, there is a line of eye-catching text. The God of War system is connected. Name, Qitian. Rating, not good enough. All attributes increased by 0%. Martial spirit, double fists, double eyes. Strength, 10. Spirit, 20. Soul power, 10. Soul ring, none. Special skills, none. Note, special rewards will be obtained by absorbing soul rings or triggering specific events. Is this my golden finger? Tian murmured, not noticing at all that the crystal ball in his hand was emitting a dazzling light at this moment. Another innate soul with full soul power. This time he found a treasure. Su Yuntao felt happy and quickly changed his expression. He slowly bent down and said in a kind tone, "My child, are you willing to join the spirit hall?" Hearing the voice, Tian came back to his senses. At the same time, he also understood the fact that he had innate soul power. After living 2 lives, he can still express his joy and anger without expressing his emotions. He blinked and pretended to be surprised. "Uncle, can I really join the spirit hall? Wuhun Palace is almost the only way out for civilian soul masters. and Qitian still has a good impression of them. At least, with Wuhun Palace here, they will mediate the war between the two empires, and the life of ordinary people will be much better than it would be 10,000 years later. Now that he has sole power, Qitian should think carefully about some issues. My child, the Wuhun Palace has the most powerful soul masters in the entire continent, as well as training resources. With your talent, you may even be accepted as a disciple by a powerful person at the title Douluo level in the future. Of course, the prerequisite for all this is that you have to join Wuhun Hall first. Su Yuntao quickly extended an olive branch. Uncle, can I also join the Spirit Hall? Tang San couldn't help but ask. He and Qitian were practicing together in the back mountain. It would be a bit hard to accept if he compared the difference between them. The focus of Su Yuntao's eyes was Qitian. Facing Tang San's question, he said casually, I will issue you a certificate later. Just wait 3 months and register at Notting College. Being ignored, Tang San frowned slightly and looked at Qitian with an increasingly unkind look. Uncle, I have to discuss this matter with Grandpa. Can you issue me a certificate? I'm afraid you won't recognize me then. Qitian blinked and said innocently, he really wanted to join the Wuhun Palace, but after thinking about it, he knew that this might not be possible. Tang Hao and the Wuhun Palace had a grudge against killing his wife. If he had explicitly said that he would join the Wuhun Palace, Tang Hao would most likely kill him. Now, he was just a soul warrior without a soul ring. How could he escape from Tang Hao's hands? Asking for a Wuhun Palace certificate, he had left himself a way out. With this proof, even if he couldn't join Wuhun Palace, he could still go to Notting College. With the help of a teacher, there is still hope for obtaining the first soul ring, Su Yuntao said in a friendly tone. What a smart and good boy. You have a good discussion with Grandpa. I will send someone to pick you up in 3 days. You will have to make a decision then. After the Wuhun awakening was over, Su Yuntao informed old Jack about Qitian and Tang San. Hearing that his grandson had innate soul power, old Jack showed a bright smile on his face. Master Deacon, we agree, you can take Haotian to Wuhundian Academy now. Su Yuntao is not very anxious. This holy soul village is located in a remote place, and people from big families cannot find it here. Therefore, he is not worried that Qitian will be snatched away by other forces. Village Chief Jack, there is no rush in this matter. Your grandson Qitian is 6 years old after all. He should have his own thoughts. I will take him away now. If he misses his relatives and hometown in the future, this will not be good. Cultivation. You parents must do a good job in your children's ideological work. In addition, I can guarantee that under the guidance of Wuhun Palace, Qitian will definitely surpass Soul Saint in the future. When the time comes, your village can also change its name. After hearing this, the smile on old Jack's face became even bigger. Thank you, Mr. Deacon, for reminding me. I will definitely communicate well with Haotian. Okay, it's time for me to leave. In 3 days, you must give me a clear answer. Definitely, definitely. Mr. Deacon, I will send it to you. Chapter 3 He must be a dog of our Tang family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It seems that we all have a chance to become soul masters. After walking out of the Wuhun Palace gate, Tang San turned to Qitian beside him and said calmly. The two of them had roughly the same experiences since childhood, but Qitian was favored by Wuhun Palace, and Tang San was inevitably a little jealous. But he hides it very deeply. At least nothing can be seen on the surface. Qitian knew very well how powerful Tang Hao was, so he quickly added, actually, I don't really want to join the Spirit Hall. The academy is just a stepping stone, and the specific practice depends on the individual. If you have talent, but relax your practice, it will be wasted time. Tang San didn't know what he was thinking, so he responded lightly, turned around and walked towards his home. Xiao San, don't be discouraged. There are places for work-study students in our village. Haotian will go to Wuhundian Academy to study. In 3 months, I will take you to register at Notting Academy. Old Jack was afraid that Tang San would be unbalanced, so he said quickly. Tang San didn't look back, and said as he ran, "Grandpa Jack, I'll go back and ask Dad." Watching Tang San leave, Old Jack came to Tian in a good mood. Tian, you gave Grandpa a big sigh of relief. From now on, our Holy Soul village will all be proud of you. Looking at the envious looks of all the parents, Tian knew the truth behind Mu Xiu Yulin, and quickly pulled Old Jack. "Grandpa, let's talk about it when we go home." After returning home, Tian explained his thoughts to Old Jack. For ordinary people, it is a great honor to be favored by Wuhun Palace. If Wuhun Palace could send him to the academy safely, he would be happy to join Wuhun Palace. After all, he had no reason to refuse. There are no work-study students in Wuhun Palace Soul Master Academy, and there are additional subsidies. The money is enough to improve myself and my grandfather's life. After explaining his thoughts, Old Jack looked pleased. Tian, when you go to Wuhundian Academy, you must study hard, listen to the teacher, and have a good relationship with your classmates. Grandpa, I have worked hard all my life, and I am very satisfied to see you become a soul master. With that said, Old Jack walked to the door and said, "Grandpa has to visit Tang Hao's family. I will prepare delicious food for you at the party." "Thank you, Grandpa." After Old Jack left, Tian returned to his bed and quickly checked the system panel in his mind. He didn't get much information. He only knew that special rewards could be obtained after triggering events and obtaining soul rings. Tian doesn't know what the reward is specifically. After entering the academy, I must get the soul ring quickly and get the reward first. Qitian made up his mind. As for the triggering event, he has never triggered it before and doesn't know how to trigger it. Now that I have awakened my martial spirit, I cannot neglect training. Thinking of this, Tian hurriedly ran towards the back mountain. After awakening his martial spirit, he could feel that his vision became extremely clear. He could outline the picture in his mind just by looking at the flowers and plants blown by the wind. Not only that, his physical fitness has also made a qualitative leap. In my previous life, if I had such a vision, I wouldn't have been assigned local characteristics. That before he could finish his sigh, a line of words quickly appeared in his mind. Trigger event, Tang Hao's murderous intention. Please host to make a choice. Choice 1, bow to Tang Hao and become a loyal dog of the Tang family. Reward, a book on dog-licking secrets. Option 2, be tough and argue over Tang Hao's head. Reward, reborn as a repair dog. Choice 3, let nature take its course. Reward, location information suitable for the host's first soul ring soul beast. Note, when the host completes the content in the options, the system will automatically issue rewards. The host cannot make a choice, but there will be no reward. The good news is that an event is triggered. The bad news is that there is no choice. He didn't do dog licking in his previous life, and it's even less likely that he would do it after his rebirth. As for confronting him head-on, he's not that stupid yet. I choose to run away. Tian complained repeatedly in his heart. At the same time, inside Tang Hao's blacksmith shop, hearing that Tang San had awakened his twin martial souls and was still innately full of soul power, Tang Hao was so excited that he hugged Tang San. What a scene, a loving father and a filial son. Tang San, my good son. Dad, there is another person in our village who has awakened the innate soul power. At this moment, Tang San was like a child, unable to hide any secrets in his heart. After hearing this, Tang Hao couldn't help but frown. He knew very well what having full soul power meant. Those who are close to the water and towers get the moon first. Since such a genius has appeared in the village, the Tang family can reluctantly accept him. Who is he? Tang Hao asked hurriedly. Tang San pointed in the direction of Old Jack's house and said, "This is Grandpa Jack's grandson Qitian. He was also invited by the deacon of Wuhun Palace and will go to Wuhun Palace Academy in the future." After hearing this, Tang Hao's face darkened at a speed visible to the naked eye. Originally, he thought that he was a useless person and had no chance to seek revenge from Wuhun Palace. But after seeing Tang San's talent, he gradually had the hope of revenge in his heart. With Tang San's talent, he will definitely grow up to be the top powerhouse on the mainland in the future. But the Holy Soul Village had some shitty luck, and a genius with innate soul power unexpectedly appeared. Such geniuses join Wuhun Hall and are trained by Wuhun Hall. He will definitely become a strong enemy of the Tang family in the future. He must be a dog of our Tang family, otherwise he must die. Tang Hao made up his mind. Coincidentally, old Jack walked in at this time and scolded Tang Hao. Tang Hao took out his ears and said impatiently, "Old Jack, what are you doing here? If nothing happens, I, Tang Hao, will not accompany you." Tang Hao. Old Jack puffed his beard and glared in anger. "You guys are just unlucky. Xiao San has awakened his soul power and will become a glorious soul master in the future. Let me tell you, I plan to use the quota for village work-study students is given to the mistress." Tang Hao just wanted to refuse. After all, asking the Tang family to work as work-study students was simply an insult, but then I thought about it. If we could let Qitian and Tang San go to school together, and let them develop a deep friendship, and let Qitian take the initiative to join their Tang family, it would be countless times better than forcing him to join. Old Jack, I agree. But I have one request. If Xiao San goes to the academy alone, he will inevitably be bullied. I heard that your grandson has also awakened his soul power, so why not let them go to the academy together, so that they can have mutual respect for each other? Take care of me. Tang Hao said lightly. Hearing this, Tang San felt warm in his heart. Dad actually thinks about himself. Is this fatherly love? Old Jack was so angry that he stamped his feet and cursed angrily. Tang Hao, this is nonsense. Xiao Tian has been spotted by the deacon of Wuhun Palace and wants to enter Wuhun Palace Academy to study. Wuhun Palace will send someone to pick him up in 3 days. Xiao Tian, I advise you not to act recklessly. If you offend the deacon, your future will be ruined by you. After hearing this, Tang Hao couldn't help laughing. What he wants is this news. As long as he knows when the people from Wuhun Palace will come, he can take action. Without these deacons, Qitian still has to go to Notting College. Now that he decided to let Qitian be the dog of the Tang family, Tang Hao's remaining conscience made him unwilling to do anything to a child before going to the opposite side. Please read, please vote. Chapter 4 Let Nature Take Its Course. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The choice of the system undoubtedly sounded the alarm for Qitian. Being targeted by a tidal Douluo, Qitian suddenly felt like a light on his back. However, Tang Hao had no intention of actively looking for him. 3 days passed and he was still safe and sound. Tian finally breathed a sigh of relief. Before him was another choice. If the people from Wuhun Palace come, will he follow them? If he followed them, Tang Hao would probably attack him halfway and kill him. But if he doesn't follow, old Jack won't be able to pass this test. Hey, the system is right, just let nature take its course. Tian lay on the bed, extremely tired. At this time, it seems that the best choice is not to have people from Wuhun Palace come. But what can he do if his legs don't grow on someone else's body? Originally, his opinion of Tang Hao was very average. Now that he is being threatened by the other party, he can only look good to Tang Hao. Fortunately, Tang Hao made the choice for him. On the mountain road entering Holy Soul Village, a group of 3 people wearing Wuhundian costumes were speeding up. Deacon Su Yuntao of Notting City reported that there is a soul master with the original martial soul in the Holy Soul Village. It seems that we have found a treasure this time. The middle-aged man in the leader said with excitement, the original martial soul is very powerful. These few words were the first words his teacher asked him to remember when he first came into contact with the theory of soul masters. The Wuhun Palace has the most comprehensive information about Wuhun, and there are naturally many records about the original Wuhun. Compared with weapon souls and beast souls, soul masters with physical souls have an innate advantage when it comes to comprehending martial souls. Tian is also a genius with innate soul power, so he is almost certain to become a tidal Douluo. As for a tidal Douluo who wants to improve his strength, the most important thing is to comprehend the martial soul. It can be said that Qitian's future is bright. Being able to teach a powerful tidal Douluo is a great honor for any scholar. Mr. Hildu, it seems that you are planning to accept a disciple this time. The companion beside the man said cheerfully, Hildu and he were both teachers at Wuhundian Junior Soul Master Academy. They had worked together for many years, so they naturally knew each other's character. Hildu smiled faintly and did not express his position. Shaoli, speed up. Let's go meet this genius first. Shaoli is the deacon of Wuhun Hall in Notting City. Because Su Yuntao went on a date with Cece, the job of leading the way fell on him. Shaoli pointed to the mountain in front and said quickly, 2 adults, after crossing another hill, we will reach the boundary of Xinghun village. According to Deacon Su Yuntao's explanation, Tian and his grandfather should be waiting for you two in the village. Where is your lord? Hildo nodded with satisfaction. As the saying goes, those who are near the water get the moon first, and the college he was in happened to be not too far away from here. Relying on his connections in Wuhun Palace, he successfully intercepted the news. If Tian showed innate intelligence, he would probably be able to laugh out of his dreams. Suddenly, a deep voice fell into their ears. 3 of you, I'm afraid you won't be able to reach the Holy Soul Village. Who? Hill looked around with a wary expression. 6 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, and black appeared at his feet. 2 soul emperors, 1 great soul master. Interesting. The voice suddenly became heavier. Immediately afterwards, a powerful wave of soul power struck the 3 of them. The great soul master named Shaoli's body was instantly crushed under this soul pressure. Blood and flesh spattered and fell on Hildu and the other 2. Both Hildu's faces turned red, and they did not feel comfortable facing such pressure. Your Majesty, I am Hildu, the Dean of the Junior Soul Master Academy of Wuhun Palace in Fasno Province. If you are offended, I am willing to pay any price. Martial Soul Palace, the attacker was none other than Tang Hao. When he heard what the other party said, he became furious. The clear sky hammer grew larger in his hand and slammed towards the opponent. Before he died, Hildu recognized the clear sky hammer spirit, but he would not have the chance to bring the news out. After dealing with the 3 people, Tang Hao looked at the big hole on the ground and snorted coldly. Humph, Wuhun Palace, this is the interest that I, Tang Hao, charge from you. Tang Hao was not foolhardy. He had been following these people all morning. From their conversation, we learned that Hill had intercepted the news by his own means in order to recruit Tian as his disciple. And the deacon named Shaoli will also be transferred from Notting City. This time he will go directly to take office after leading the way. With such a good opportunity, Tang Hao would naturally not give up. Tian is just a dog kept by my Tang family, and he is so attractive to a bunch of idiots like you. In Holy Soul Village, old Jack looked at the entrance of the village eagerly. From morning to night, he never waited for the people from Wuhun Palace to arrive. Tian stood beside old Jack and couldn't help but sigh. Let nature take its course. Congratulations to the host for completing the selection. The selection is completed, and the reward is the location information of the soul beast that is suitable for the host's first soul ring. The host needs to arrive in the soul beast forest to view it. Looking at the system panel in his mind, Qitian said, it seems that the people from Wuhun Palace will not come. Grandpa, let's go back. There is no record of my martial spirit on the mainland. The deacon may think that his previous words were inappropriate, so I don't think they will come. Tian pulled old Jack's sleeves, said with a look of helplessness. Old Jack glanced again reluctantly. After confirming that no one was coming, he bent down and sighed. Tian, you are so sensible. Hey, it doesn't matter if the people from Wuhun Palace don't come. With your talent, you can go to any soul palace. The teachers' college will accept you. Fortunately, you asked the deacon for the certificate. There is no soul master in Lao Li's village next door this year. Tomorrow I will go to their village to get the work-study student quota. From now on, you and Xiao San will go to Notting College to study together. There is also a care in between. Tian nodded silently. For him, going to Notting College wasn't a bad thing. There are still 3 months left before the start of school, and Tian is not idle either. He is exercising step by step every day. After awakening his martial soul, his physical strength and physical fitness have made a qualitative leap, so the training time has also become longer. The same is true for Tang San. In the past, the two of them would hardly meet each other in the back mountain, but now, they often bump into each other. Tian could clearly feel that the look in Tang San's eyes had changed. But whenever he took a closer look, Tang San would take it back without leaving a trace. Of course, Tian didn't care. Possessing the top boxing skills in his previous life, he was confident that he would not lose to Tang San's hidden weapons. 3 months have passed by in a blink of an eye. In these days, Qitian's attributes have also improved slightly. Strength, 12. Looking at the only changed attribute on the panel, he felt bitter in his heart. Without the soul ring, his soul power would not be able to break through. Moreover, he doesn't know how to meditate, and he can't use these 3 months to accumulate soul power for himself in advance. After enrolling in school, I must obtain the first soul ring as soon as possible. Qitian said with firm eyes. The signing process is underway, so those who haven't invested should hurry up and invest. It is very important to catch up on new books. Readers who like to read, please remember to catch up on them every day. Thank you very much. Chapter 5 Nodding College. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Holy Soul Village is not very far from Nodding City. Today, a few villagers happen to be pushing wooden carts to Nodding City to sell vegetables. In order to prevent Qitian and Tang San from getting tired on the road, Old Jack actually pushed the cart with the villagers. The two of them, Qitian, were arranged by Old Jack to sit on the wooden board. Looking at the Old Jack who was already beyond his capabilities, Qitian felt a little heavy in his heart. Old Jack is like a selfless parent who uses his meager strength to protect his children. Qitian secretly vowed in his heart that he must become a soul master as soon as possible and receive the soul master's monthly subsidy from the Wuhun Hall, so that Old Jack's life could be easier. Tang San, on the other hand, took advantage of the situation and lay down on the car, as if he felt in his heart that he should be the one who was riding in the car. Half a day later, Old Jack brought Qitian to Nodding College. To be precise, this is Nodding City Junior Soul Master Academy. Soon, the college's concierge stopped the three of them and said, "Stop, this is an important area of the college, and no one else is allowed to enter." While talking, he was also looking at the outfits of Qitian and others. In such a small city, disliking the poor and loving the rich is almost engraved in the bones of the people at the bottom. Seeing Qitian and the others dressed like country folk, the porter suddenly felt that he was much taller. He put his hands on his hips and said with disdain on his face, "Oh, you bunch of poor ghosts, get out of here. If you disturb the soul masters in the academy, you will suffer the most." Although it is different from the original time and space, it is still the same recipe and the same taste. Qitian clenched his fists. Although he was still young, he was confident that with his fists and kicks, he could make the concierge drink. "This little brother, we are from Holy Soul Village. These two are the work-study students we sent this year. Look, this is the certificate issued by the deacon." Old Jack respectfully presented the 2 certificates. Unexpectedly, the concierge just took one look and said firmly, "Who are you trying to fool? You bunch of country bumpkins, do you know how to read? Do you know what is written on this? Those who can come to the Soul Master Academy, whether they are ordinary students or work-study students, are all people with soul power." The reason why this person came here to work as a concierge was, firstly, he wanted to get in touch with those gifted children with soul power. Secondly, he had not awakened his soul power since he was a child, and when he saw those students with soul power begging him to open the door in front of him, looks like this, not to mention how happy I feel. Furthermore, soul masters are a wealthy group. He is in such an important position, so it is not too much to make some money. You are deliberately making things difficult. Old Jack puffed his beard and glared in anger. As the village chief, he must be literate. But Qitian and Tang San are the pride of Holy Soul Village, and he will not allow others to slander them like this. Qitian did not express his position in a hurry, but glanced at Tang San. Tang San's sleeves were seen rising slightly, and an imperceptible sound of a machine gun being loaded reached Qitian's ears. They just made rude remarks. It's enough to teach them a lesson, so why take their lives? Qitian frowned. At this moment, his view of Tang San changed subtly. "I think you are the one who is illiterate." Qitian stood in front of Tang San and said angrily. What are you talking about, kid? The concierge suddenly became furious. He had been working as a concierge for so long, and this was the first time someone dared to contradict him. Tian sneered, I think you don't even know what illiterate means. The concierge was irritated by Tian and suddenly became angry. He stepped forward angrily and stretched out his palm, intending to teach Tian a lesson. Adults are adults after all, so what if Qitian has soul power? The physical gap cannot be made up by just 1 or 2 levels of soul power. He had read the certificate just now, and if it said 1 or 2 levels of soul power, he would just let it go if he made some profit. But it just says level 10, this is an innate soul power. Even the Lord Nuoding's family has never had such a genius, let alone the little-known Holy Soul Village. From this, he concluded that this group of people was definitely here to cheat. Haotian. Old Jack looked worried. But he was old, so how could he stop the young and strong concierge? Just when the concierge's thug was about to fall on Tian's face, Tian showed a smile. Then, he turned slightly sideways, clenched his right hand into a fist, and struck the concierge's lower ribs fiercely. The soul power will improve the physical quality of the soul master, and coupled with Qitian's exquisite force-generating techniques, after this blow fell, the concierge completely lost his ability to resist, and curled up on the ground, wailing loudly. As a boxer, force control is his strength. This blow did not break his ribs, but the pain would not disappear in a short time. Just before the two of them took action, Tang San's purple demon eyes were already quietly moving. What a precise punch, was it a coincidence or intentional? Suddenly, he smiled from the bottom of his heart. How could I be so stupid? How could there be people like me in this world? It was just a mistake at most. Old Jack was a little at a loss for a moment. He patted his thigh and said anxiously, Haotian, you are in big trouble. If the leaders of the college find out, you will enroll in the school. The Yu Shaojiang in his impression did not appear. Tian looked around for a moment and did not find the figure of the small crew cut. Instead, 2 middle-aged men came over. One of them walked up to old Jack. He did not rush to judge what was right or wrong, but said, Old sir, can you show me the certificate issued by Wuhun Palace? Old Jack hurriedly handed over the certificate, fearing that the person in front of him would attack them. The middle-aged man pushed up his glasses and said in surprise, he is born with a lot of soul power. He is really a genius. Dean, no way. Another man said in surprise. The middle-aged man didn't say anything, but handed him the certificate from Wuhun Palace. Then, the middle-aged man bent down and said, Old sir, I am Su Changqing, the Dean of Notting College, and this is Su Mu, the Dean of Students next to me. On behalf of the college, I sincerely invite your 2 children to enter our college. It turned out to be the Dean and Director Su. Tian was a little surprised. It seems that the plot is not what it is in the novel. At least, in the novel, Dean Notting does not appear. No matter what, he has entered Notting College. If he can get the help of Dean Su, he will have his first soul ring. Su Changqing did not doubt the authenticity of the proof. He could clearly feel the fluctuations in the soul power of Qitian and Tang San. Dean Su, I'll leave it to you for Haotian and San. Old Jack bent down to thank him with an excited look. Su Changqing quickly helped him up. Old sir, teaching and educating people is our responsibility, leave the children to us. However, you cannot pick up the children in advance before the end of the year holiday. Yes, I will pick them up after the holiday. Old Jack said happily. Next, he explained many things to Tian and Tang San, and then reluctantly left. As for the concierge, Su Changqing walked to him and stood in front of him, saying in a neutral tone, the concierge is the face of the college, and he should treat everyone with courtesy. Since you have seriously damaged the image of the college, from now on, you are no longer a member of the academy. After saying that, he led Tian and the others into the academy. Chapter 6 Sorry, I refuse. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After all, Tian and the 2 are still children, and their steps are not as big as those of adults. Su Changqing and Su Mu slowed down at the same time, taking them to enjoy the scenery in the academy, and at the same time telling them some stories about the Soul Master world. Neither of them were real children, and the story was just for fun and not taken seriously. Not long after, a familiar figure appeared in front of everyone. "Xiao Gang, where are you going in such a hurry?" Su Changqing greeted with a smile. The person in front of him was wearing a black gown. The most recognizable thing was undoubtedly his short crew cut. That's right, this person is the famous theoretically invincible master on the mainland, Yu Xiaojiang, who was expelled from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family and the Wuhun Palace one after another. "Dean, there's nothing wrong. I just need to get up and move around after sitting for a long time." Yu Xiaojiang said casually. He was about to go to the Wuhun Palace to receive the Soul Master subsidy. As a great Soul Master, he could receive 10 gold soul coins every month. Young Soul Masters go to receive subsidies in order to take care of their cultivation without starving to death. But if he gets it at such an old age, others will only think that he is lazy and lazy. Seeing this, Tian suddenly said in his heart, "It seems that it's not that the plot has changed, but that we came a little earlier." In the original time and space, Yu Xiaojiang rushed back to the academy. It seemed that at that time, he had finished receiving the Soul Master subsidy. Su Changqing smiled and said, "Just in time, Director Su, and I still have some things to do. You take the 2 new students to register and arrange accommodation for them later." Yu Xiaojiang did not shirk, and casually took the soul power certificates of the 2 people from Director Su. "Follow me. Are you working students or ordinary students?" "Work-study student." It was Tang San who spoke. Yu Xiaojiang didn't care. In previous years, when the college was busy, he would occasionally receive registrations from new students. Out of curiosity, he casually looked through the certificates from Wuhun Palace, but he didn't expect much in his heart. Nodding City is just a remote town, and the geniuses who have awakened high soul power have long been taken away by the Spirit Hall. After all, they are doing the work of awakening the martial soul, so they will definitely get the news as soon as possible. What's more, which civilian doesn't yearn for the Wuhun Palace? Suddenly, Yu Xiaojiang saw the soul power level written on the certificate. He staggered and almost fell down. "Teacher, what's wrong with you?" Tang San subconsciously went to help Yu Xiaojiang. "Ahem, it's okay. But you don't call me teacher casually, unless you really want me to be your teacher." Yu Xiaojiang rolled his eyes and said quickly, "Tang San's situation is easy to understand. Bluesilver Grass has a useless martial soul, and even if it has soul power, it cannot become a strong man." With the eyesight of the deacon of Wuhun Palace, it was normal to let Tang San go. But Qitian couldn't explain the fist martial spirit, although Yu Xiaojiang didn't know why there was such a martial spirit. But as the fist is a part of the body, it certainly cannot be regarded as a useless martial spirit. The purpose of the last words he just said was already obvious. Now that he can catch up with Wuhun Palace and train these 2 people into title Douluo, he will be able to become famous in the mainland, and the day when his theories will be confirmed is just around the corner. Of course, Yu Xiaojiang is not a fool. According to the records he saw in Wuhun Hall back then, a genius with innate soul power will almost certainly become a title Douluo as long as he does not die prematurely. "Do you want to teach me martial arts?" Tang San raised his head and looked up at Yu Xiaojiang. Tang San was full of unknowns and curiosity about this new world. If there is such a guide, he can integrate into this world faster. Tian, on the other hand, stood quietly aside, watching the performance of the master and disciple. However, Yu Xiaojiang still kept an eye on it and called Tang San aside alone. Although Tian didn't know what was said between them, Yu Xiaojiang was nothing more than a lie, 2 deceptions and 3 deceptions. When he saw Tang San kneeling down to be his disciple, Tian knew that he had seen the right person. Successfully witnessing Tang San's apprenticeship will reward the soul master with meditation practice. "Hey, it seems that a new event has been unlocked." Tian smiled inwardly. The meditation practice merged into his mind like a tide. Although he didn't know how other meditation methods were, what the system gave him would definitely not be bad. After a while, Tang San walked up to him quickly and whispered, "Qitian, we are from the same hometown. I just became the master as my disciple, why don't you also become my disciple with me?" That he was a little jealous of Qitian. But being able to become Tian's disciple before him, he could also be regarded as Tian's senior brother, and he was still ahead of Tian in terms of status, which made him somewhat happy. Yu Xiaojiang walked to Tian and stood in front of him. You must be Tian. I heard from the mistress that you are also a genius with innate soul power. And my standard for accepting disciples is that all non-geniuses will not be accepted. If you are willing to become my disciple, I will teach you everything I have. Even if your martial spirit is just a fist, I still have the ability to teach you to become a strong person. Hearing this, Tang San looked at Yu Xiaojiang with even more admiration. Tian disagreed. Yu Xiaojiang used the PUA routine in the workplace, which has been common for a long time. Besides, is Yu Xiaojiang really capable? If he had real abilities, why would he stay at not in college? Why would his soul power stay at level 29? As for the 10 core competitivenesses of his martial arts, Tian really disagrees. To a certain extent, Yu Xiaojiang was the person with the worst reputation in Douluo Continent. Suddenly, a line of text appeared in his mind. Trigger event, become apprentice to Yu Xiaojiang. Choose 1, agree to become a disciple. Reward the ultimate dog-licking secret. Option 2, refuse to become a disciple. Improve the strength attribute a little. Tian straightened his face and refused decisively. Sorry, I refuse to become a disciple. Okay, then I'll be reluctant to wait. What did you say? Yu Xiaojiang's face suddenly stiffened. He couldn't understand how a bumpkin from the countryside could practice without anyone to guide him. As a genius with innate soul power, he can directly hunt for soul rings. Without his own theoretical support, Qitian knew what type and age of soul beast to hunt. Thinking of this, Yu Xiaojiang sneered and said, "Oh, don't think that you can indulge yourself because you have talent. You and Xiaosan have the same starting point, but without my guidance, Xiaosan will soon leave you behind." That's right, Qitian, why don't you become my teacher? Tang San also joined in. In just one day, Qitian's sense of Tang San dropped to freezing point. Logically speaking, he and Tang San spent the longest time together, but Tang San just helped talk to a person who had just met and became his disciple. Sorry, I refuse. Tian emphasized again with a calm expression. Even without Yu Xiaojiang, he wouldn't be able to practice. It's like, if you don't have a spoon, you won't be able to eat. Humph, you are stubborn. Let's go, mistress. Yu Xiaojiang waved his sleeves and walked towards the building in the distance without looking back. Tang San held his head high and followed Yu Xiaojiang. It was as if at this moment, his identity had made a leap and he had become a noble. Chapter 7 Su Changqing's Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Teacher, Qitian and I are not familiar with each other. We just came from the same village, but I haven't had much contact with him since we were young. Tang San hurriedly explained for fear that Yu Xiaojiang would misunderstand. As for Yu Xiaojiang, he has been rejected only a handful of times over the years, and he has always rejected others. Tian is nothing. To put it bluntly, Yu Xiaojiang can decide his life or death with just one slap. Just like this little bastard still dares to reject him. Xiao San, you are born with full soul power and can directly obtain the first soul ring. Today you go through the admission procedures first, and tomorrow I will take you to get the soul ring. After you break through, there is that boy who is greedy. By then, you will definitely kneel down and beg me. Yu Xiaojiang said angrily with slightly cold eyes. By then, he would definitely give Tian a good education, or at least flatten his horns before accepting him as his disciple. Humph, he is nothing in front of the teacher. So what if he is favored by the spirit hall? He still wants to be surpassed by me. Tang San was in a very good mood at the moment. He thought that his choice to become a teacher was very correct. Not only did he avoid detours, he also wanted to be surpassed by me. There is even the possibility of soaring into the sky. When he becomes a strong man, he must slap Wuhundian in the face. By the way, mistress, please come to my dormitory after the party. I want to take a look at your second martial spirit, and I will conduct a detailed study of your Bluesilver Grass martial spirit to find the first soul that is most suitable for you. Ring. Yes, teacher. Tang San said in a high tone. Tian on the other side could only walk towards the reporting office by himself. Fortunately, there were many signboards in the academy so he wouldn't have trouble finding his way. Name, Qitian. Strength, 13. Looking at the numbers on the panel, Tian smiled inwardly. The martial soul that Tang San could use in the early stage was only Bluesilver Grass. In the face of absolute power, what kind of waves could Bluesilver Grass make? Why should he himself pursue the Soul Master to practice? Isn't it good for him to use his strength to break the law? He touched his belly. Even though he was still just a child, his abdominal muscles were already beginning to take shape. I want to see what good things Su Changqing can teach you. With a cold snort, Tian quickened his pace. When he arrived at the registration desk, Tang San happened to walk out of it. He paused for a moment at the door and murmured softly, "Wise men are always laughed at by fools, but fools don't know the truth spoken by wise men." It's really sad. The sad thing is that you are right. Any other teacher would be more useful than Su Changqing. At least other teachers will take the initiative to help their disciples when they are in danger. As for Su Changqing, if Tian remembered correctly, when he was hunting the first spirit ring for Tang San, if Tang San hadn't taken action, he would have died in the spirit beast forest long ago. Tian had no intention of paying any attention to Tang San. After entering the registration office, the teachers quickly completed the procedures for him. "Oh, you and Tang San came from the same village. It's really strange that two geniuses with innate soul power appeared in the same village." One of the teachers sighed. "Classmate Tian is much more polite than that Tang San. Why don't you, classmate Tian, come to my class? I promise to help you get the first soul ring that will satisfy you." A female teacher said with a smile. The other teachers were a little annoyed when they saw this, because the moment the female teacher took away Tian's information, Tian was already a student in their class. "Is it true? Then my first soul ring will take 400 years. Tian blinked and said. Seeing this, the female teacher calmly put the materials back on the table. These teachers are all just great soul masters, and they have never experienced the bloodshed in the soul master world. The strength to crush and kill spirit beasts that have been hunted for 100 years or less is not bad. In the soul beast forest, the area where the soul beast has been for 400 years is full of dangers, and one can lose one's life if one is not careful. Isn't it nice to get paid to be a teacher? Why go to such great lengths?" Tian didn't expect them to help. He was lucky. He met the dean of Notting College today. If the other party could help him, there would be no problem with his soul ring. They had become familiar with each other before, and then they came to the door, so it didn't seem too out of the blue. When Tian was plotting against Su Changqing, Su Changqing was also plotting against him. "Director Su, we just went to the Wuhun Palace for a meeting. The Wuhun Palace seemed to say that 2 soul emperors and a deacon were missing. Do you remember the specific situation?" Su Changqing asked. Director Su recalled something and said, "The 3 of them seem to have gone to Holy Soul Village to pick up a genius soul master." "Wait, Holy Soul Village? Is it Qitian and the others?" The 2 said in unison. After thinking about it, Su Changqing said, "It shouldn't be Tang San. Bluesilver Grass is recognized as a useless martial spirit. Even though he is a soul master with innate soul power, the characteristics of Bluesilver Grass's martial spirit restrict his future development prospects. It is unlikely that Wuhun Palace will waste resources on him." The fist martial spirit. As a part of the body, it has a natural advantage in controlling the martial spirit. Just now when we were at the door, we also saw Qitian's kung fu on his fists and feet. Director Su suddenly smiled and said, "Dean, this is a good thing. The team that went out to pick up people from the Wuhun Palace disappeared, and this genius came to our noting academy without bias. He is born with full soul power, even if he plays every day, and his cultivation is he will not fall behind others. Once we teach him well, there will be one more strong person on the continent in the future. More importantly, this strong person comes from our nodding academy. It is a lie that Su Changqing is not interested, and Tian has already enrolled in Notting College. Even the Wuhun Palace can only rob him after he graduates, since Tian will definitely become a strong man in the future. As long as he adds the words Notting College to his resume in the future, all of them will be proud of their faces, Su Changqing said quickly. Director Su, he is born with full soul power and can directly obtain soul rings. He also has fist martial souls. You can go to your library in the academy tonight to see if there are any soul beasts suitable for him. As for the age of the soul rings, Xiao Jiang said that 423 years is the limit for the first soul ring. I think he has good physical fitness and must have exercised a lot, so a 400-year soul ring should not be a problem for him. Otherwise, 300 to 400 years would be appropriate. It would be fine if the age was as low as 50 years. Director Su suggested, in any case, since Tian joined Notting College, they must take good care of each other. To show our importance, Su Changqing will personally lead the team this time. Moreover, the opening ceremony originally scheduled for the day after tomorrow has also been temporarily postponed. As for Tian's status as a work-study student, they have no plans to remove it for the time being. The job of a work-study student is very training. If Tian can persist for a period of time, it will be of great benefit to his future cultivation. At this moment, Qitian didn't know that he had been arranged clearly, and he came to Qisha. Tang San had just defeated Wang Sheng and was in the limelight. Are you new here? Someone soon spotted Tian's figure. The rule of Qisha is that you either accept the boss by being submissive, or you use your strength to become the boss. The rules are like this, and Tian obviously can't stay out of it. Chapter 8. That's it, how can I lose? You are listening at novelfull.audio. In his previous life, Tian, as the holder of a gold belt, never chose to admit defeat even if he couldn't beat his opponent in the ring. Now, the boss of Qisha is Tang San. Given Tang San's previous behavior, it is even more impossible for him to admit defeat. Just as he was about to express his attitude, a girl's voice came from the door. Excuse me, is this Qisha? That everyone looked towards the door, and Tian couldn't help but turn around. This girl was Xiao Wu. When she saw everyone's gazes, she looked at them curiously. Tang San stared at Xiao Wu, and his heart actually moved. However, as an adult, he will not show it easily. Wang Sheng glanced at Xiao Wu and quickly looked away. The fear of bullying the weak and fearing the strong has been engraved in his bones. He clearly knows that with his strength and status, he cannot afford to touch people like Xiao Wu, and it may even lead to death. However, the rules of Qisha are rules, and no one can make exceptions. Ahem, you two are new here. Now Tang San is the boss of our Qisha. You can either call him third brother, or use your strength to prove your status. After saying that, Wang Sheng and others all retreated behind Tang San. Tang San only had Xiao Wu in his eyes at this time, and he felt a little bit violent about attacking a girl. Xiao Wu was not a good person. When she heard that there was a fight, she rubbed her fists and was ready to take action at any time. Tian glanced at Tang San and couldn't help but sneer in his heart. Tang San's age was more than 6 years old, and Xiao Wu was even more exaggerated. Tian didn't like Xiao Wu at all. Xiao Wu's true form was a rabbit, and he must have known what the rabbit would do in the spring. Moreover, those who are not of my race must have different minds. Sorry, according to the first-come first-served rule, I should be the one to compete with Tang San first. Tian came to Tang San and said lightly. Xiao Wu frowned. She thought Tang San's shy look just now was very interesting, and she was planning to get to know him. Besides, it was spring and she was of the opposite sex, so it was hard for her to control the restlessness in her heart. Humph, what a nasty guy. Tian didn't care about Xiao Wu's opinion. He hooked his hand towards Tang San. Xiao San, when we were in the village, you and I were working hard, so let me see your results. Tang San said nonchalantly, then you have to look carefully. In the past 3 months, Tang Hao taught him blacksmithing skills. He had to swing a forging hammer that was taller than others thousands of times every day. He does look a little thin on the outside, but his strength is not small. As a disciple of the Tang sect, he has innate pride in his bones. As for Tian's training, in his eyes, it was nothing more than a small fight. Innate full soul power also has strengths and weaknesses, let me see your strength. Tang San shouted lowly and took the lead in taking action. He is also gifted with soul power. He is a new work-study student this year. How can he be so abnormal? Wang Sheng said in shock. 2 innate souls, this academy looks quite interesting. Xiao Wu smiled heartily, and at the same time, she was full of curiosity about Tang San and Tian. Since the two of them had never been exposed to martial arts-related training, neither Tang San nor Tian activated the martial arts, but used fists and kicks to fight against the enemy. Tang San was not adhering to the principle of sparring. His fist style was fierce and had the momentum to fight tooth and nail. As a disciple of the Tang sect, he is not weak in boxing and kicking skills. His legs were slightly bent, his body was slightly retreated, and his strength came from bottom to top, with his waist and abdominal muscles converging the power into his fists. He punched extremely fast, suddenly creating an afterimage, and his fist flew towards Tian's cheek like a cannonball, but Tian was not a humanoid punching bag, so how could he let Tang San run wild? He took a step forward, avoiding Tang San's attack, and aimed a right hook at Tang San's armpit. What? Tang San was slightly shocked. He just used this punch to defeat Wang Sheng. Looking back at Tian's performance, he was too calm, as if he had thousands of countermeasures in mind. Thinking of this, Tang San no longer looked down upon him, and a burst of purple light flashed in his eyes. While avoiding Qitian's attack, he was also trying to analyze Qitian's fighting mode. Tang Clan's unique skill. Qitian muttered softly. Tang San relied on the ghostly shadow to avoid his attack. Xiao San, it's my turn now. Since Tang San broke the rules first, don't blame him for being rude. Qitian's eyes flashed with a glimmer of light. This was his second martial spirit. There is currently no soul ring blessing, but the effect is not inferior to the purple demon eye. Seizing the initiative, he used fists like wind and rain, forcing Tang San to retreat continuously. Oh my God, is this a battle between two children? They too have such powerful fist and kick skills. Wang Sheng looked complicated. I thought Tang San was already perverted enough, but I didn't expect someone to be braver than him. Is Holy Soul Village so powerful? A few minutes later, Tang San was already unable to retreat. No, I will lose if this continues. Tang Clan's unique skill. Yes, I am a disciple of Tang Clan. Tang San reached out and suddenly caught Tian's fist. The Tang sect's unique skill is to control the crane and capture the dragon. Let's see how you deal with it. Tang San smiled from the bottom of his heart. 4 tails can bring 1,000 pounds. Tian did not lose his position. Since you can move 1,000 caddies, how about 10,000 caddies or 100,000 caddies? Tian exerted force violently, and a sonic boom could be vaguely heard. Impossible. Tang San had no time to react. Tian's fist hit his chest hard. Poof, a mouthful of blood spurted out, and he fell to the ground, unable to move anymore. I come. After watching it for so long, Xiao Wu's hands were itching unbearably. Seeing that Tang San had been defeated, she couldn't wait to take action. Tian would not show mercy to her, so when Xiao Wu was about to get close, Tian kicked her over with a strong kick. Previously, he had been fighting with his fists. Xiao Wu didn't know that he also had good leg skills. He originally planned to sneak attack on the opponent, but now he is reaping the consequences. Tian glanced at the two people lying on the ground and said calmly, that's it, how can I lose? Boss. Boss. Wang Sheng and others all bowed and saluted. Call me Qitian. Before he could finish, a man with light green hair walked in, holding a quilt in his hand. That's nonsense. You are a freshman. You dare to hurt a classmate on your first day of school. Come with me to the academic affairs office. Tian glared at him. This guy had obviously been here a long time ago, but he had to wait until he won the fight before coming forward, making it clear that there was suspicion against him. Looking at the quilt in his hand, Qitian suddenly realized, if he remembered correctly, Yu Shaojiang asked a teacher named Mo Hen to deliver a quilt to Tang San. When Tang San left the registration office earlier, he was also the one who led him to Qisha. Teacher Mo, we were just competing. I accidentally fell down just now. Tang San stood up with a weak look and defended. He was not speaking for Tian, but he did not want to trouble his teacher to come forward. He made trouble on his first day here, and if the teacher found out, how would he treat him? As for Xiao Wu, she seemed to be avoiding Mo Hen intentionally and seemed a little guilty. Mo Hen looked at Tian's eyes and felt a little scared. This kid's eyes are so sharp, I'm afraid it's not simple. Forget it, it's better to do less than to do more. After handing the quilt to Tang San and explaining some matters concerning the work-study students, he left angrily. Chapter 9, Stolen Identity. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Tang San and Xiao Wu were defeated by him one after another, but because of the same experience, they cherished each other. Tian didn't want to pay attention to the bloody relationship between them, so he randomly found a bed by the window and lay down. Wang Sheng and the others quickly took out their bedding to show their courtesy. However, Tian did not accept it. Every working study student has his own bedding, so he can just pick it up later. After all, bullying the weak and fearing the strong is not something he likes to do. It was still a while before dinner, and he looked out the window boredly. Suddenly, he thought of something. There are only 3 work-study students this year. When Mo Hen called him and Tang San just now, they called him and Tang San by their first names, but when they came to Xiao Wu, they called Xiaoqing. Qing and Wu have different pronunciations. Mo Hen is a teacher after all, so how could he even misunderstand the words? Combined with Xiao Wu's guilty look, it's hard not to think about it. Just as he was getting closer to the truth, a reminder sound appeared in his mind, interrupting his thoughts. Congratulations to the host for defeating Tang San and Xiao Wu. The host will be rewarded with the special skill, deliberate punching. Name, Qitian. Rating, not popular. Martial spirit, double fists, double eyes. Strength, 13. Spirit, 20. Soul power, 10. Soul ring, none. Special skill, deliberate punch. In combat, the more damage you accumulate on the enemy, the more powerful this blow will be. When released, it can block 50% of the enemy's damage. Note, there is a very small probability of triggering a critical strike effect, which will kill the opponent instantly regardless of the level gap. The God of War system, as the name suggests, is related to combat. I just don't know if there will be such a good reward for defeating the opponent in the future. Tian murmured in his heart. There is a large spirit fighting arena on the mainland, where you are not afraid of not being able to find an opponent. Xiao San, is that guy really a fellow countryman of yours? Looking at him giggling there, is there something wrong with his brain? Xiao Wu muttered in a low voice. The good feeling she had for Tian disappeared with Tian's kick. Now that they have lost to Tian, they will call him boss in the future. Tang San frowned. He had never discovered that Tian was hiding so deeply. The force of the punch just now directly broke his controlling crane and capturing dragon. As a disciple of the Tang sect, how could he tolerate his own failure? But thinking of his fellow countrymen, he will not use hidden weapons behind his back for the time being. He will look for opportunities to win them back in an upright manner. Xiao Wu, just wait. I am born with full soul power. Teacher will take me to get the soul ring tomorrow. Then I will definitely defeat Qitian in an upright manner. Tang San said solemnly. Not long after, it was getting dark outside. Wang Xing walked up to Tian cautiously and said, Boss, today is your first day of school. We brothers would like to treat you to a meal. No need. It was not Tian who spoke. At some point, Director Su walked into Qisha. Looking at the blood stains on the ground, he didn't ask too much, but looked straight at Qitian. Qitian, the dean and I have something we want to ask your opinion about. Opinion, come with me. Director Su. Wang Sheng was frightened and quickly straightened his body and stood aside. Tian quickly got up and said, Director Su, let's go. After the two went out, Wang Sheng and others finally breathed a sigh of relief. Why are you nervous? Xiao Wu blinked and asked in confusion. If Director Su knows about your fight just now, he will probably expel you. The style issues of all students in the college are under his control. Even some nobles in the city have to look at Director Su's face. Third brother, Xiao Wu, you have to be more careful in the future. Wang Xing reminded. Hey, I don't know what Director Su is asking the boss for. That teacher Mo is famous for his loud tongue. It would be terrible if he came to Director Su to sue you. But in fact, Director Su already knew about this matter, but did not hold Tian and others accountable. On the contrary, he strongly encourages healthy competition among students, as long as it does not rise to the level of personal safety. On the second floor of the college cafeteria, Director Su brought Tian to a private room. There is a large wooden round table in the private room, and sumptuous meals have been prepared on the table. Su Changqing sat at the front seat and said with a smile, Tian, you and Director Su, please sit down quickly. It's getting late, let's talk while eating. Thank you, Dean. What a polite boy. After exchanging polite words, Su Changqing quickly got to the point, Tian, you are innately full of soul power. Tomorrow, Director Su and I plan to take you to the soul hunting forest outside the city to obtain a soul ring. You see, what do you think about the future? What are your thoughts on the development? After hearing the first half of the sentence, Tian felt happy. The soul ring was exactly what he needed. But the second half of the sentence made him don't know how to speak. There is no soul master in Holy Soul Village, and besides, he has just entered school and has not officially been exposed to the soul master course. Even if he knew his future development direction, he couldn't say it. Seeing that Tian didn't speak, Director Su quickly tried to smooth things over. Dean, Tian hasn't officially started class yet. I'm afraid it's inappropriate for you to ask these questions. Look at my memory. Well, Tian, I have some opinions on your future development direction. How about you listen to it first and make a choice later? It all depends on the dean's arrangement. Next, Su Changqing said a lot in one breath. In summary, he wanted to ask Tian whether he wanted to take the offensive route or the defensive route in the future. Qitian stated directly that his fists were his weapons, and there was no reason why weapons should be used for defense. After burning incense, the meal ended with laughter and laughter. Su Changqing ordered some big fish and meat, which was undoubtedly a sumptuous dinner for Tian, who has been a vegetarian for a long time. Before leaving, Su Changqing interrupted, Tian, you go to bed early tonight. You have to leave early tomorrow morning. You must not delay. Do you understand? Tian responded. By the way, there are 3 work-study students here this year, including you. You know Tang San. As for Xiaoqing, she is from the countryside just like you. You and Tang San can take care of her when you have time. Tian agreed, but his heart was already in turmoil. The previously interrupted thoughts returned again, and he immediately figured out the reason. First of all, Xiao Wu is a transformed soul beast that came out of the Star Do forest. She doesn't need to awaken her martial soul at all. To enter Notting College, you must have proof of the start of Wuhun Palace. As for whether Xiao Wu used a pseudonym, Tian thought it was unlikely. Only the deacon of Wuhun Hall will issue a certificate for children who have awakened Wuhun by themselves. This also prevents people from making up the numbers and wasting teaching resources. Then there is only one possibility. Xiao Wu's proof was obtained from a girl named Xiaoqing. Being able to become a soul master means changing the fate of the whole family. As long as Xiaoqing is not a fool, she will never give the proof to others easily. It is very likely that Xiao Wu killed the girl named Xiaoqing on the road and took her identity. Tian did not intend to make any announcement about this matter. This is just his guess, and there is no evidence to prove that his guess is true. Chapter 10 Set off to hunt for souls. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the evening, Tang San arrived at Yu Xiaojiang's residence as promised. Seeing the bruises on Tang San's body, Yu Xiaojiang said, Xiao San, did you and Tian start a fight? Tang San quickly explained, Teacher, it's like this. We are just following the rules of Qisha to have a friendly competition. But I never thought that Qitian's strength would be so great. Yu Xiaojiang waved his hand and interrupted, Xiao San, it's not terrible to lose. What's terrible is that you can't find the reason for failure. Hearing this, Tang San's mood calmed down a lot, and he thought to himself, if it hadn't been for the teacher's reminder, I would have really regarded myself as a child. Qitian's power is indeed terrifying. Could it be innate divine power? Seeing Tang San's performance, Yu Xiaojiang said with satisfaction, Xiao San, I am very pleased that you can calm down and think about the reasons for your failure. But have you forgotten something, such as Tian's martial spirit? That's right, Yu Xiaojiang didn't think Tang San would lose to Tian, but Tian activated his martial spirit during the competition. Tang San's martial spirit is Bluesilver Grass, and it hasn't been trained by him yet. Regarding the fighting method of Bluesilver Grass, he had never taught Tang San. Tang San suddenly said, no wonder his fist is so hard, I should have thought of it earlier. Damn it, this guy is so despicable, he is actually playing tricks in the dark. Yu Xiaojiang said with a smile, Xiao San, you don't need to be discouraged. After I take you to get the soul ring, you can use your martial soul to compete with Tian Tang in an upright manner. You are my disciple, Yu Xiaojiang, and you are not just anyone. Anyone can be bullied. At this moment, Yu Xiaojiang's figure felt so majestic in Tang San's heart. Thank you teacher, I will definitely win it back. Tang San said with firm eyes. Okay, mistress, let's talk about your martial arts. That night, Xiao Wu and Tang San competed in the open space in front of the dormitory building. At first, their discussion was legitimate, but it gradually turned into flirting. Tian was not in the mood to care about them. While he was resting at night, he tried to cultivate his soul power according to the meditation method provided by the system. The next morning, Tian ended his cultivation state, he stretched and smiled inwardly. The training method provided by the system is indeed not bad. I feel that after absorbing the soul ring, my soul power can break through one more level. Slowly walking out of bed, he glanced around and saw that Wang Sheng and others were still sleeping, but Tang San had left the dormitory early. Tang San's work as a work-study student in the past few days has been handled by Xiao Wu. As for Qitian himself, after talking to Su Changqing yesterday, the other party had already said hello to the teacher in charge of the work-study students, and he didn't have to work these days. Dressed neatly, Qitian quickly arrived at the gate of the college. Outside the door, parked was a plainly decorated carriage. The car curtains were ajar, and Qitian immediately recognized that it was Su Changqing and Director Su who were sitting in the car. On the way, Director Su said, we are going to the soul hunting forest where Wuhun Temple keeps soul beasts outside the city. Qitian, this is your first time entering the soul beast forest. The danger inside is beyond your imagination. So no matter what, you can't leave the sight of me and the dean, understand? Qitian nodded solemnly. Afterwards, Director Su talked a lot about soul beasts, the most important thing being the age of the soul beasts, but Qitian showed little interest. He generally knew all these things when he was reading the novel. Even if there was something he didn't know, Director Su couldn't remember it if he said so much in one breath. By the way, Xiaotian. I heard that Tang San, who lives in the same hometown as you, became Xiaojiang's disciple. Do you know about this? Su Changqing asked curiously. He understood Yu Xiaojiang's temperament. Logically speaking, a genius like Tian would definitely be more popular than Tang San. Why did he choose Tang San? Tian didn't hide anything and told the truth. You are right to reject the master. Many of that guy's theories are immature. Before we set off, he had already taken Tang San one step ahead. I'm afraid this time, he will use Tang San to test his own theories. Director Su sighed. Road, it is actually very dangerous to practice immature theories. Once something goes wrong, it is very likely to ruin a person's future. But Tang San, if it's destroyed, then it's destroyed. Although it would be regrettable, it would not have much impact. Tian rolled his eyes inwardly. If Tang San was really an ordinary Bluesilver Grass martial spirit, could he have cultivated Bluesilver Grass to the peak in the original time and space? Yu Xiaojiang is just lucky, a blind cat meets a dead mouse. Although Tang San's Bluesilver Grass martial spirit has not yet awakened for the second time, it is not comparable to ordinary Bluesilver Grass. Thinking of this, Tian sneered in his heart, why didn't Tang San follow her mother's Bluesilver Grass cultivation route? The Bluesilver Emperor was born with the ability to heal, and taking the healing route was much better than the control route. After all, healing soul masters do not need to consider the restraint factors of martial souls. Instead of taking the easy road, he just listened to Yu Xiaojiang's lies and found a path that was not suitable for him. One day later, the carriage drove into the small town in front of the Soul Beast Forest. The hustle and bustle of the town entered the carriage without any hindrance. Tian, during your 6 years at Notting College, you needed a soul ring to break through. Old Su and I can help you get it. After you graduate, you will have to find a way to get the soul ring yourself. With that said, Su Changqing opened the curtain and pointed to the place where people gathered. Those are the soul hunting teams. There are traces of them at the entrance of every forest on the continent. If you really can't find a helper to obtain the soul ring, you can spend money to ask for their help. But I don't recommend you do this. These people are all licking blood on the tip of a knife, and many of them are greedy by nature. The Soul Beast Forest is a lawless place. Once they attack you, you will not be able to escape. Possibly. Besides, most of these guys are stragglers. They will run away on their own when they encounter trouble. They have no discipline at all. So I hope that when you finish your studies at Notting College and enter a higher level college, you will find some partners who are trustworthy and worthy of your support. I remember. Tian nodded seriously. Okay, let's get off the bus first. Walking to a stall, Su Changqing smiled and said, unless you want to live a savage life in the forest, you'd better prepare enough supplies before entering the forest to avoid accidents. Qitian kept these kind reminders in his heart one by one. While purchasing supplies, Su Changqing took off a bracelet from his wrist and handed it to Tian. This is a storage soul guide. There is about 3 cubic spaces inside. After entering the forest, if you are carrying a large bag of food, it will affect your traveling speed. The soul guide can perfectly solve this problem. Tian, you are the genius of our college. Director Su and I have high hopes for you. I hope this soul guide can help you in the future. Su Changqing was not from a wealthy family like Yu Xiaojiang, and the value of this soul guide was equivalent to 10% of his net worth. Tian solemnly said, thank you, Dean, I will definitely live up to your expectations. At the same time, his eyes looked towards the distant soul-hunting forest from time to time. What will the soul beast that the system finds for me look like? Please pursue reading and monthly tickets.